In this video, I'll be spending 100 days in the wonderful world of Pixelmon. And by the way, if you like what you see, then consider subscribing. It's free and you can always unsub later if you want. The goal for this video is to be the very best like no one ever was. Okay, let's get it! The game begins. I went ahead and picked my starter, which is the best starter ever, Mudkip. On top of that, I was born in the Hoenn region, so it's only natural that I do that. I had a pretty good spawn. I spawned on top of a village, well, on the rooftop in a village, and they gave me a nice little bed as a welcoming gift, sort of. I saw a wormhole immediately, and I immediately tried to talk to the locals. That didn't happen. I went inside this place, saw a bunch of coal, a couple levers that didn't really do anything, wasn't sure what that was all about, and I saw some iron bars too, so it got me thinking about making a mechanical anvil already. I looked inside this chest, got a couple of loot, very nice. That was pretty easy, getting some iron, not too shabby. I tried to talk to some more locals, and this guy already gave me a quest. Wasn't sure what that was all about. And here's where the real welcome gift comes in. So that was really nice of them. Couple pokeballs and wood, some food. Went ahead and crafted some iron armor. Not too bad, looking pretty good so far. Started wandering around, thinking about what to do. Tried to get into this house, didn't really happen. Then I found some apricorns. Did a little bit of training, got ambushed by this Diglett. I don't think that worked out, so that kind of sucked. But that's okay, because then I also found this Viper, so that was pretty cool. I went to say hi to Nurse Joy. Looks like she had some company over. And she healed up my Mudkip after getting obliterated by the Diglett. Then I went ahead and got her welcome gift as well. Wandered around for a bit, and I found this really cool structure, which had a lot of iron in it. So I decided to do, to basically destroy it and mine it for everything it's got. So, yeah. I also decided which house I wanted to be in. And after mining all that andesite and iron, I went ahead and decided to call it a night. I took refuge in this little house over here in the village, enjoyed the view of the sunset, and then the next day I went out. I saw the notification for a shiny, but unfortunately I couldn't find it, so that kind of sucked. However, when looking for it, I actually found something even better. I found Celebi's house. Right there in the village, I couldn't believe it. It was crazy. Yeah, doing a little victory dance there. But the terrible thing was Celebi wasn't home. I guess they were out doing errands or something. Not sure about that. Did a little bit more training. Got pulled some aggro from the Wooloo and the Centric. Getting some levels in from Mudkip. And I went ahead and decided to move into my new home. Apparently the house I moved in was kind of like some kind of, I don't know, some bed and breakfast hotel thing. I wasn't too sure. It had a lot of tables and chairs. But the best thing was, well, the cool thing was, nice little endless supply of food, and I had this really cool balcony lanai thing with a nice little cherry blossom tree, so that was nice. Went upstairs and saw the hotel rooms, and I decided to loot the chest for, well, whatever I wanted. Wasn't too much going on here, a couple cobwebs, nothing crazy, a couple bows, nothing too crazy like I said. And then I decided to finally create my farm. See, the thing about Pixelmon is, I know you do, I do like to craft my pokeballs in the very beginning, and so I really would like a nice little farm to start us off here, so that's what I did. Did some terraforming through the night. Essentially, I wanted to create this farm where I could harvest and craft, well, an apricorn farm, and then harvest and craft a lot of pokeballs instead of buying them, in the beginning at least. Looking pretty good so far, like I said. I went to get some water and I talked to this professor. He gave me a quest. And then I immediately started to create this nice little potato farm here. Been playing this for like years now, and I still can't even get this infinite water thing going. Took me a couple of tries, but we finally got it. Went back into this house and decided to mine out the coal, and as well as the iron bars, because that was, like I said, that's going to be pretty good for the mechanical anvil. Decided to talk to this guy. Got a couple more quests here. The farm is looking pretty good so far. Lots of apricorns starting to grow in. Did some more organizing in the house. I wanted to get all the... Basically, I wanted to get all the basic Minecraft stuff done out of the way before I go out and explore and build the team and all that. So, yeah. Did some more remodeling of the house. Took out a couple of the chairs. And then the next day, I went out to get some bones. Well, this was that bone structure that I told you about in the beginning. So, decided to take that down. And this was going to be good because... You can turn these bones into bone meal, and that was going to be crucial for expanding the farm as quickly as possible. So as you can see, got an infinite supply of bone meal, for the most part. And as you can see, I went ahead and used it on all these apricorns. I got the black apricorn, and decided to get some more wood because again, I'm really low on resources, so I needed to get all this Minecraft stuff done. The basics, at least. Did some more remodeling of the house, and things were looking pretty good. Not too shabby. I'm getting real comfortable here. Got ambushed by a Rattata. That was okay. And then I got obliterated by this grass thing, so that kind of sucked. Went ahead and enjoyed the sunset for that day. Didn't do much there. And I began mining. I'm a bit of an old school player, I will admit. So I still do the thing where you make stairs. So instead of like finding a ravine, I like to make staircases for my mines. I don't even know if people still do this, but yeah, like I said, old school. So I still do this. Make the stairs for the mine and then just go strip mining. So that lasted for a couple days. Actually, that lasted for a lot, well, a lot longer than I expected. So I did that, the cobblestone that I obtained, and made some stairs out of it. Just make things a little bit nicer, you know? And then I continued to strip mine for some iron, redstone ores, lapis, you know, basically all the basic Minecraft stuff. Eventually, I did find a pre-made cave, and I did some training down there with some rock and rollers and a couple of geodudes, to the point where Mudkip actually evolved into Marshtomp, so we were looking pretty good already. Not too far into the challenge, and we already got Marshtomp, so that was big. He also learned Mudshot, which is really nice. And as I got down even further into the mine, I found some firestone shards. And that's going to be huge because that gave me an idea. That gave me a huge idea. To get a fire type into my team that needs the firestone, that was going to be huge. I already had an idea of who I was going to use. Other than that, I continued mining and smelted some more as well. Went back upstairs, started organizing, and as I was waiting for all my other ores to melt or smelt, did some more organizing, and I decided this little corner of my house was going to be the area for the anvil to craft the pokeballs. So I went ahead and smelted the iron, made some iron bases, and I started hammering away at with a diamond hammer. After that, I got into a fight with a Plusle, as you can see here. Not the best opponent for Plusle here, I'll admit. He definitely did not know what he was getting himself into. Spamming Mudshot here, doing lots of damage, taking out that Plusle. Huge plus for me. Well, no pun intended. And then I started battling this Miltank. Now this guy was going to be crucial because I realized that he dropped leather. He was one of the guys who dropped leather, and that was going to be big for when I needed to craft a backpack for more inventory space. I went over here, talked to this guy, and apparently I completed a quest. I don't know what that was about, but I guess he likes me, so he gave me a bunch of glowy blocks. And there it is. I decided I needed to expand my apricorn farm, so I went out and tried to find some more apricorns. I walked for a while, and I ended up in a snow biome, as you can see. And I just had to admire the aurora. Did some more training out here in the ice biome, because why not? Against these ice-type Pokemon. At this point, I actually did find the yellow and the pink apricorns, so that was pretty much all I needed at this point. But as for right now, did a little bit more training, as you could see. Not the best type matchup, but we pulled through anyway. And using that bone meal, we were able to get the farm going pretty quick. As with the other stuff as well. Now, I needed the yellow apricorn specifically because I wanted to craft two types of Pokeballs, and that was going to be the Quick Ball and of course the Ultra Ball. Because I really do like using the Quick Ball strategy where you use the Quick Ball on the first turn when it comes to capturing, so that's why it was very crucial for me to find the yellow one. I also, along the way, I found the white apricorn and I also found the red one, and the reason for that is not to make regular Pokeballs, but I wanted to create timer balls. That's what I wanted. In the off chance that I would run out of Ultra Balls or maybe some Quick Balls, I could charge up the timer balls by stalling out the turns and then just, you know, capturing Pokemons that way. Harvesting some more of these apricorns. Looking pretty good so far. We're going to have more than enough apricorns to craft our Ultras and our Quick Balls. So far so good. Started smelting some of these apricorns as well. And as I waited for that to smelt, I just went ahead and started hammering away. Oh, I even made luxury balls, because why not? Those look pretty nice too. So I'll be honest, I didn't really necessarily need them, but I just went ahead and crafted them anyway. They do look nice. I also needed to wait for the stone to smelt because I needed some buttons for the Pokeballs. And while I waited for that to smelt, just went ahead and started hammering out some more Ultra Balls and Quick Balls as well. And once everything was completed, I went ahead and started crafting our Pokeballs. Very nice. Some more Quick Balls. Very nice. Some Ultras. You better believe it. This was looking so good right now. Harvesting some more. I even found a very sinister looking visitor here. I didn't want to fight that guy. He looked pretty scary to me, so I didn't fight him. But so far so good. Everything was good. We had all our resources. We had a couple healing items, but more importantly, we had our Pokeballs, and we were ready to set out for adventure. Right before I defeat this thick Rattata. I talked to Hannah for a bit. She's a nice lass. Very nice. Gave me another quest. And I pretty much at this point I went out to adventure. Finally, right? After spending so many days in the village, I went out to explore. Did some more training against Rattatas, Wooloos. I even found another Celebi shrine, as you saw earlier. And we, at this point, like I said, it was time to team build. It was time to get our team, time to build our team, and proceed on with the challenge. Battling this Electrike, getting some more experience, getting some more levels in, and of course getting the drops. That's always nice too. I found another one of these andesite statues, so I went ahead and mined that for some more iron. And when I was flirting with this trainer over here, a Zacian actually appeared. That was crazy. I was not expecting Zacian to spawn in. That's a big dog. Look how big that dog is. A big blue dog. Very huge. I was definitely not getting close to him. He is huge. Level 70, you better believe I wasn't going to fight him. After a while, I actually ended up in a savanna biome. This was pretty cool. I actually never traveled to the savanna at this point. Saw some flying Pokemon as well, which gave me an idea. As I was team building, I decided I wanted to capture this Starly here. And the reason why I wanted to start, well, actually, I was actually trying to get a Pidgey. That's what I was originally going for. But Starly ended up appearing, so I decided to go for Starly instead. Trying the quick ball strategy as well. Turn 1, quick ball. Let's see if we get him. Get her, I'm sorry. And I captured her, and there it is. Proving my point. The quick ball strategy does work. Welcome to the team. But as I was admiring Starly, a Cyndaquil actually attacked me. Was not expecting that at all. And this was very, like I said, this was very surprising because I was not expecting Cyndaquil to be here. Actually, I wasn't even expecting to find a starter this early on into the game. But I definitely had to capture Cyndaquil because, listen, I'm not going to pass up on a starter. Even if I'm not going to use them, I still got to capture them for the sake of capturing. This went on for a little bit. I used a couple quick attacks as well. I wanted to get Starly some levels in as well. I know, because I do know that Marshtomp was a little bit over leveled for this fight, so I wanted to get Starly in. And as you can see, just got Marshtomp out there to tank some of the Cyndaquil hits. And I started using the Ultra Ball. And apparently that was the first Pokemon I captured with the Ultra Ball, so got a nice little achievement for that. Even though, like I said, even though I'm not going to use Cyndaquil in my team, it was just really nice to have capture a starter in general. Got into a fight with the Litleo, spamming the Water Pulse. Marshtomp learned Water Pulse at this point. And yeah, still exploring, still looking for that fire type. I found a Buizel out here, didn't even know he can spawn in, so that was kind of cool. I used them a lot in the Sinnoh region. But after exploring, I finally found the fire type I was going to use, and as you can see, yes, we are going to capture Growlithe and add him to the team. This is going to be huge. I love Arcanine, well, and eventually evolve him to Arcanine as well. I started using the quick balls, or I'm sorry, the great balls, just to get rid of just to move up some inventory space. And I actually captured him. Well, now I should say actually her, because the Growlithe I captured was a female. And she even had a title, Growlithe the Sociable. I didn't even know Pokemons can have titles like that, so there she is. Very nice, good Growlithe, very good girl. Alright. Did some more training as well. I got into a fight with the Rhyhorn. Going for a Water Pulse right here. This should do big damage. That one-shots the Rhyhorn. And after some training, Starly actually evolved. It didn't take too long. I did battle a lot of wild Pokemon at this point, so it's no question, no reason why Starly wasn't going to evolve at this point, or very early on. Besides, you only needed to get them to level 14 anyway, I think. Or no, 16. I'm sorry, level 16. Kept exploring through the night. Got into some more fights with some more Pokemon, getting some training in. Getting in some more levels, fought this Ekans right here. I think I was doing the same for Growlithe as well. Started to rain a bit, which actually, if you don't know, some of the weather conditions can actually affect what Pokemon spawn in your area. So that was kind of interesting. Saw some different Pokemons. Actually, at this point, this was kind of weird because I was heading back home when I got into a fight with this Toxicroak. Look at this guy. This guy was level 42. I didn't even know that Toxicroak can spawn in here. Actually, I did look it up. Toxicroak, this is weird because Toxicroak can actually spawns in a swamp biome, which was kind of weird because I was in a plains biome. So I did not, I'll be honest, I didn't really know why this was, but regardless, we got into a fight with him and he was level 42. I was super underleveled at this point, but I did remember that Toxicroak is actually a poison type, and ground type moves affect poison types relatively well. So you already know I'm getting Marshtomp out, and I'm gonna start spamming some mud shots. This guy needed to go. Actually, initially I wanted to capture him. I really wanted to capture Toxicroak, but I think in the end I actually ended up killing him, which technically ended up being a blessing in disguise. This guy poisons Marshtomp, goes for another Toxic. I'm already poisoned, doesn't really matter. Goes for a couple taunts, but we're just going to continue to spam Mud Shot. And that's doing big damage, despite being over 10 levels under. Mudshot definitely was an MVP move right here. More specifically, Marshtomp. Best starter ever, like I said. So, I ended up killing the Toxicroak. Got a couple levels in. Big experience for the entire team. That was huge, as you could see. Lots of experience. And he actually dropped slime balls, and this is what I mean. It was a blessing in disguise because I needed the slime balls in order to craft the mechanical anvils. So this was huge. And after that, I decided to head back home at this point. I needed to get a couple more supplies anyway, like healing stuff. Saw a really cool Zangoose there, by the way. That was pretty cool. Wasn't expecting that. But as I was heading my way home, I saw a really cool Thundercat, as you can see. Nice little Thundercat right there. Very aggressive in the rain. Apparently, Electabuzz likes to spawn in stormy weather. So if those of you who don't know, if you want to capture an Electabuzz, they spawn at nighttime when it's raining and thundering. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you have thunder weather at night, then you have a really high chance to encounter Electabuzz. So, oh, and it has to be in the plains biome as well. Yeah. But I wanted to get Electabuzz because I actually do need an electric type for my team. So this guy was going to be a huge help for us. So I definitely needed to get Electabuzz on the team. And of course, I did go through Sinnoh region in 07, so I do remember that he does evolve into Electivire, one of the most coolest electric types I've ever seen. I had to get him on my team. I go out into a Staravia, wasn't the best option, I'll admit. I completely forgot that birds are very weak against electric types. Go into the Growlithe, and just to give her some more levels, get some experience in, and of course swap her out. Doing the whole strategy where you swap in the weak and then you swap in for the stronger types. Electabuzz actually did try to kill Growlithe. I predicted the Shockwave, and it did not affect Marshtomp. That ground typing was huge against electric types. They always think that you can use an electric type against Marshtomp, or I guess in the end game Swampert in general, but they always forget that ground typing. Lowering his HP, going for a couple. Electabuzz goes for a couple screeches. I believe he knew quick attack, so I think that's why the strategy he was going for was to screech me until I had -6 defense, and so he can kill me potentially get me with a quick attack. I think that's what his strategy was. Didn't matter anyway, because we went ahead and started throwing some Pokeballs at this point. I didn't want to risk killing him, even though he wasn't in the red. I just had to go for it at this point. Broke free on that one. Goes for the quick attack like I said. We tanked that like a champ, and I'm going to go for another Ultra Ball right here. One more time. And as you can see, we captured Electabuzz, and that's going to be a huge victory on our end. And he was also carrying the Electrolyzer, which was huge because I technically can evolve him right now if I wanted to. So that was big. As I was heading home, the rain finally stopped, and I actually ended up in another village. This village had a market, which was pretty cool because I went ahead and just started looting out everything they had. Well, they didn't really have anything too much of value. Had a couple iron armors, some food, lots of wood, but I guess the only valuable thing was that diamond, and so I definitely took that. I saw a really cool bird, as you could see. Huge bird, that's a big bird right there. And I ended up finding this gym as well along the way home. I think this was I'm pretty sure this was a grass type gym. That looked like the greenhouse. So yeah. The thing was, I didn't actually attempt this gym this early on because initially I thought I was too underleveled. I thought I was underleveled, so I went ahead and just made a waypoint so I don't forget where this was. I wanted to do a little bit more training on the team before I came back. At least I thought I needed to. Went back home. I started organizing the things that I had. Got a couple more supplies that I needed. Started putting some Pixelmon stuff in the chest, and just overall just organizing. I went ahead and crafted a mechanical anvil, so that was huge with the slime balls that I got from Toxicroak. And I went ahead and crafted the mechanical anvil setup right there, so that was nice. And at this point, I went ahead and crafted a chest because I was ready to craft my first backpack. I definitely needed some more inventory space, so this was going to be a huge help for us. Got some string, some leather from the milk tanks, I sheared some sheep, and I finally was able to make myself a nice backpack and start organizing things, freeing up some more space in my inventory for more exploration. Went back into the mines and actually got some more ore. Because at this point I wanted to craft myself a personal PC, a couple PCs and a healer, I believe. So got all the supplies that I needed at this point. Had smelted some more glass for the PC, I guess the monitor area. I wasn't too sure. It was just one of the things I needed. And I went ahead and smelted the aluminum iron and started hammering away at these plates. And as you can see, made myself my first PC. Went ahead and placed my PC, decided to put it near the door, didn't really matter where it was going to be, and went ahead and put Cintiq in there. Got into a fight with this pigeon over here, didn't really last too long. A lot of these Pokemon, I gotta say, a lot of these Pokemon, when you get a little bit higher level, a lot of them seem to really pull aggro on you. I don't know. I just seem to be getting into more wild battles as I level up my team more. I don't know. Maybe there's something in the water, but these guys are getting a bit more aggressive. Regardless, we took care of this guy real easy. I noticed my hammer was getting a little bit low, so I went ahead and repaired that as well. And I went back into the mines to get some more. I needed this because I'm pretty sure at this point I was trying to make a healer and another PC. So I went ahead, smelted some more aluminum, started hammering away. And with these materials, I went ahead and crafted my first healer, which was huge. Very nice. Oh, and I also got another Porygon part, so that's cool. I placed it next to the PC, because why not? Make it a little more organized, nice little PC. And at this point, I decided to evolve Electabuzz into Electivire. He learns the same moves, I think, at the same levels, at least in the Pixelmon version he does. So there was just no point for me to keep him at Electabuzz, so there he is. There he is, Electivire. Big guy. Ah, look how big he is. Yeah, that's a big guy. I don't know. I always loved the design of this guy. He was huge. This guy was huge. Definitely a beast of an electric type. Later that day, I went ahead and explored the Mesa biome. There was a Mesa biome behind the village, so this is pretty much where I was. I wasn't too far away, actually, but as I was exploring, it didn't take too long for me to find this Bagon, and I got really excited because if you don't know, Bagon evolves into Salamence, which, if you don't know, again, is the Generation 3, or one of the Gen 3 pseudo-legendaries, so his stats are insane. So, yeah, apparently at nighttime in the Mesa biomes, you can capture a Bagon. I think initially I was trying to go for an Aeron because I wanted to get Aggron, but we just ended up finding Bagon instead, and I was just like, yeah, we gotta get this guy. We gotta get him. And lo and behold, I was able to just capture him with a Pokeball. I didn't even need to battle him. And there he is, little Dragon Bagon. He's so sick. He is so awesome. I love this guy. From there, we did a little bit more training as well. I got into a fight with this Scorpion, this baby Scorpion right here. Takes out Growlithe. That was a shame. But I went ahead and got out Bagon to get a little bit more, start training this guy up. And we took care of him real easily with Bagon. I was training, I found a couple more raids, so I decided to do some raids. I think this was the 2-star, yeah, this is the 2-star Cubone raid. So that went down pretty easily. I think we tried to capture this guy. I'm pretty sure we did capture Cubone, but in the process, we also got some Dynamax candies, some rare candies, and a berry. I went back to the grass gym, and I figured I think it was time to attempt the grass gym. We made it. Apparently, this place is called the Greenhouse Gym, and this is going to be the very first gym that we attempt. It was a pretty cool layout. They had me go down this ladder where I was, I guess, greeted by the first trainer. Interesting way to get to the boss or the gym leader. And apparently I actually wasn't underleveled or at all. I was at this point overleveled, so that was yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Apparently I could have just attempted this gym the first time I found it. So but it is what it is. So trainer goes in with this Pokemon here. We're gonna go ahead and use Growlithe for the type advantage and just take him out real nice and real easy. Decided to make my way through the maze, trying to get to the gym leader. There's another one right in front of me. Went ahead and got into this fight. Trainer goes out with a Cacnea, and we're just going to use Ember to take this guy down. Growlithe tanking some hits, even that was a critical hit. Did some decent damage, but we tanked it like a champ. Went ahead, took him out. Goes for the Snover, wasn't expecting the Ice type, but that was a bigger disadvantage against my opponent. Takes out the Bayleaf. We go for some stat increases on the attack. They use Toxic on me. That wasn't very nice. Now I gotta heal Growlithe from that poison. But we're gonna keep spamming the Flame Wheels. This Growlithe had a lot of attack stats. We were definitely gonna be utilizing these Flame Wheels to our advantage. Get to the next trainer after making a stop at the Pokemon Center. And they're gonna go in with a Quick Attack. Quick Attack always goes first. We tank that like a champ. Going in once again with a Howl. Get that attack increase. We're gonna go into a Flame Wheel. Very effective. One shot of that guy. You better believe it. Head over to the next trainer. They're going to start off with this Cotton Ball Pokemon. And they're going to go with that poison. A lot of these Pokemons know Toxic and Poison Powder. But regardless, we were able to take them out pretty easily with the Fire type advantage. We head up from underground. And apparently the second level is some kind of maze before we get to the gym later. So that's what we were doing here so far. Just going through this maze. I don't know how long it took me. It actually didn't take me that long. But we finally made it to the gym leader. And here we go. The first ever gym leader fight. Let's do this. They start off with an Execute. And I believe they're going to Dynamax. They Dynamax the Execute. And as you can see, I mean, look how ridiculous that thing is. You can see the pixels on that thing. But they go into the Dynamax Execute. Does the Max Mindstorm. Does big damage. And unfortunately, I did not bring any healing items with me, or at least I ran out at this point. And so I didn't want to risk fainting Growlithe in case we needed it. So I just went into the Electivire just to get a couple chip damage in. Goes for another Max Mindstorm, and then they swap into the Grottle. Electivire tanking these hits pretty easily, or pretty good. And again, just trying to get some chip damage. Went for a Shockwave, didn't do very much damage. But at this point, I remember that grass types actually are not strong against flying types. So we go into the Staravia, and because I remember Staravia knows Wing Attack, so this is going to be big for securing our victory here. Goes for the Wing Attack, one-shots the Grottle, goes back to the Execute, and we're going to go once again with a Wing Attack. That one-shots him, that was big. Goes into this the Snake Pokemon, the Gen 5 Snake. Goes for a Wing Attack, bam, super effective, into the Bayleaf. One more time, we're going to keep spamming that Wing Attack strategy. This is huge. Once again, one-shotting the Bayleaf, going into the Gloom. I think this might have been his second to the last Pokemon. Once again, Wing Attack, and that's going to one-shot KO these Pokemons. And yeah, we also learned Aerial Ace, so that was huge. And goes into this last Pokemon right here where we actually give Aerial Ace a try. Once again, super effective, which secures our victory. And that is the first gym down. Rainbow Badge and Seed Bomb was ours. Huge dub, huge dub. I walk out with the first victory. This was awesome. I'm feeling good, feeling good. Head back home, healed the team up, and crafted my first badge case. Because I definitely needed this. I didn't have this before. So I went ahead and just crafted one, and there was the first badge right there. 7 more to go. Let's do this. I took a trip down to the Pokemart. I decided I wanted to get some more healing items, but I noticed I was actually broke. I didn't have much money at all, even after battling the gym. But I noticed when I was going to sell a couple things that the Quick Ball actually sold for a decent amount of price. I was going to do the Ultra Balls, but I had a better idea when I went back to my farm. So I went back to the farm, and I remembered that if you craft one Quick Ball, you get 3 discs back. And if you craft one Ultra Ball, you only get 1 back. So as you can see, if I would craft one Quick Ball, I would get 3 discs in return, which was huge because if I wanted to do the Ultra Ball, I would only get 1. So basically, and if the Quick Balls are going for 500, I would get 1500 if I was to sell those 3 that I would craft. And if I sold the Ultra Balls, I would only get 600 in return. So it just made sense mathematically for me to you know, if I wanted to get as rich as quickly as possible, I needed to sell some Quick Balls, craft them, make money, make profit. You know what it is. And so I immediately got to work. And as you can see, I also got ambushed by an Electabuzz, which is weird. It wasn't even raining, but I guess they can still spawn in the plains biome. I also got stared down by a very large Mega Aggron. That was quite scary. But this was going on as I was crafting the Quick Balls and pretty much just waiting around. Later that day, I also got into a fight with the Larvitar. Now, this was actually pretty interesting because this is also another pseudo-legendary. So, you already know me with the pseudos. I had to get them. Even if I'm not going to use Larvitar on my team, it's still cool to have another pseudo-legendary on the team in general. I think this was this is Gen 2 pseudo-legendary. So, that's massive. Went with the Ultra Ball, got her down to the red, and lo and behold, I got another pseudo. So there she is. Went inside, started smelting a couple more things, harvesting some more apricorns. Basically, I'm just trying to kill time as the mechanical anvil does its job. I'm so glad I crafted that. Went out into the plains biome again near the village and just started adventuring, doing some more training and all that. I found this really cool Pikachu. I had to get this Pikachu. Went with the Quick Ball strategy, turn 1, you already know. Get that 5 times chance of the Quick Ball working. And lo and behold, it worked. There it is. Quick Ball is coming in the clutch once again. Very massive. Actually, that's a pretty decently sized Pikachu. So yeah, got into a fight with a Timber, doing some more training. I actually wanted to capture this guy, but Growlithe, she is getting so strong. Let me tell you that she is getting so strong. She one-shotted that Timber. Got into a fight with the Minimum. I remember this. And then I got ambushed by this huge Buffalon, like level 50 something Buffalon. This guy was huge. There was no way I was gonna defeat this guy. So I thought that, well, okay, the most logical thing I would probably do is just to capture him. So once again, going with that Quick Ball strategy. Let's see if we get Buffalon. And there we go. I got Buffalon right there with the turn 1. I was actually trying to go for this, talk to this trainer over here. But again, these Pokemon, let me tell you, they're getting so much more aggressive. And look at that juke. That trainer just juked me out so quick. I wasn't even expecting that. I'm just trying to get into a battle with you, ma'am. Come on, please. But we finally got into a battle with her. She had relatively low Pokemon, I'm not gonna lie, so this fight did not last very long. Got a Riolu, goes into the Jigglypuff, takes out the Jigglypuff, and that was GG. So there we go. Went for another trainer. This time I think she was in the near the level 20s. So it goes out with a Poliwag here. I go into my Electivire, trying to go for that type advantage. They actually use Hypnosis. I was not expecting that at all. Thankfully, we avoid the attack, go for the Shockwave. Super effective, one shot. And there we go. Again, basically I was just running around, just trying to kill time while the Mechanical Anvil does its job. Healed up the team back at home. I'm so glad I got the Mechanical Anvils. This thing is just such a lifesaver. Get into a fight with another trainer. She breaks up the Sheldon. We're using Staravia here. I actually don't know why I'm using Staravia here. Goes for an Iron Defense. And then we're using... Oh, that's right. We had Whirlwind. Then they actually had a Ditto. I wasn't expecting that at all. So it sends out the Ditto. And we head into an Aerial Ace. I already know this is going to hurt. Takes out the Ditto instantly. One shot. You better believe it. Then goes for a Clang. Obviously, this person is from the Steel type gym. There's no doubt about that. I go into the Growlithe. We already know this is going to be type advantage. You already know why. I tried to retaliate. That didn't work very well. Honestly, I was just kind of trying out that move just to try it out, just to see how much damage it did. I already know it does more damage when if the previous Pokemon I had fainted, but it is what it is. Keeping Growlithe out, giving her some XP, giving her some training, and we're gonna keep spamming those Fire Fangs and Flame Wheels. There it is. Takes out the Sheldon. Actually lives on a sliver of health. Lives on a sliver of health, and we're gonna go for another. We're gonna go for a Fire Fang one more time, and take out the Sheldon just like that. Very nice. They head over into the Grimer. Poison type, you already know I gotta bring out my boy Marshtomp. Now this Grimer was actually very interesting because they kept using Minimize, which made me keep missing my move so many times. I think I was missing pretty much anything I was throwing at this Grimer for a long time. I was just missing. I was just hoping for RNG for me to land an attack. Then they used Disable. Oh my goodness, talk about a stall CC Grimer. Was not expecting any of this. Goes for a Rock Slide, voids the attack again. This Grimer is something else, let me tell you. Go for a Rock Slide, we finally landed instant one-shots, you already know. Still trying to kill some time, figuring out what to do next. As I was doing that, I ended up finding a Gibble. This was, honestly, thinking about it now, I ran into so many, not even dragon types, but just pseudo-legendaries in general. We ran into the Bagon, now we ran into the Gibble, we had the Larvitar just not too long ago, so you already know I had to capture this Gibble. We already know how strong Garchomp is. Tried to go for the quick ball strategy right here. Breaks free, so that didn't go very well. So we had to go the old-fashioned way. Try to get this Gibble down as low as possible, and see if we can capture with a, I guess an Ultra Ball at this point, or maybe even a Timer Ball. So get Gibble down to the red, and we're just gonna be spamming these Ultra Balls, trying to get this Pseudo. We gotta get this Pseudo Legendary, even if it's not gonna be on my team. Because I already do have a Dragon type, it's still nice to have. So, capture the Gibble, and finally the Ultra Balls were finished, and we were able to craft all of them up. I mean, look at that, we had 6 stacks. I mean, that's right, I pretty much used all of my iron here, to craft these 6 stacks of Quick Balls. And as you can see, selling all of them, we made over 170k just like that. That was a huge dub on my part. I'm so happy, and that's pretty much gonna take. We're pretty much good on money for a long time. I'm good now. I just gotta buy a whole bunch of healing items. Had a couple of rare candies from the previous raids, and I went ahead and just used it on Staravia because at this point she was ready, she was ready to evolve into Staraptor. So there we go. Finally got Staraptor, and this was huge because I finally. I can actually ride Staraptor now, so Staraptor became a really awesome flying mount. So there we go, finally. And of course, learns close combat, awesome move. But as you can see, we were finally able to take flight in this beautiful Pixelmon world, and it was just awesome. This is gonna be finding gyms a whole lot easier. I went ahead and just grew Staraptor just a little bit more. I felt like Staraptor wasn't that big, so I went ahead and gave her a little bit of a growth boost. Back out on our adventure, we ran into this really high level Zangoose. Trying to fight this guy. I already knew Zangoose was going to be big on the EXP, but more importantly, I think I tried to capture them. I think I was trying to capture him initially. I don't know. Goes into the Staraptor, using a Crush Claw, does a decent amount of damage. We're going to go for that close combat. And since it was a fighting type, we just took it out in one shot. So there goes that. Good EXP though, but we couldn't capture him. Flying around, we're basically just looking for the next gym at this point. I'm ready to fight. We ran into this Savannah village. talked to a couple locals, that was cool, and just went, pretty much at this point I was just adventuring. It was time to adventure. Found this Pokemon Center in the middle of the ocean. Did a couple more raids, fought this Goldeen raid. I think this was just a 1-star, so that one went down pretty easily as well. And yeah, we're just flying through the night, just looking for the next gym to fight. End up in the ice biome, I think where I found the, where I was admiring the northern lights. And they had a village over there, so I just went to go ahead and check out the place, buy a couple of healing items, had to get that hyper potion, you already know. It sucks, they didn't have any full restores, but it is what it is. And so yeah, I just kept on flying. We're just looking for gyms at this point, guys. I'm so confident in our team. Went ahead, did a 3-star raid, and another starter. You already know I had to try and capture the starter, Prinplup. Didn't capture it, that did not work. But finally, we ended up actually finding a rock gym. So after all that flying, ended up finding a rock gym in the Mesa biome. Yeah, at this point, we're just pretty much just going through all the trainers. The rock gym actually had a lot of trainers, so this was actually good EXP for Bagon. I had to finally get this guy to at least Sheldon at this point, so this was level 30 for Sheldon. And I think honestly, now that I think about it, this gym was actually pretty underleveled, so we were just pretty much going around just like one-shotting a lot of these guys. I highly underestimated my team. I really thought that we had to train up you know, to a decent amount of level to attempt some of these gyms, but lo and behold, we were actually pretty over leveled for this. What doesn't matter to me though, this was good EXP, and we were just going after trainer after trainer after trainer, just one-shotting them. Again, good EXP, and gave Marshtop some training to the point where he actually finally evolved into Swampert. This was massive. I'm so happy. Shiny Swampert, come on. This guy is one of the coolest starters I've ever seen. Look at this guy. Oh, his head's in the okay, he's killing himself, but he's cool. He's cool. There he is. There he is. But after all that, we finally made it to the gym leader. And this guy actually had a couple of fossil Pokemon, which is very interesting. But goes out into the Amaranth, and we're going to go out for the Swampert. Again, type advantage. We know some water type moves. And this guy Dynamaxes the Amaranth. Amaranth. I'm so bad with names. Okay. But they're just going to go for a max guard the entire time and just waste that Dynamax. Goes into a Dynamax and just max protects the whole time. I don't know what that strategy was all about, but they wasted the turns. Goes for a Stealth Rock, setting up the battlefield. I actually had no plans to swap out Swampert. Takes out that guy, one shot. Goes into the Kabuto, classic Pokemon. Used an Aqua Jet, that didn't do much damage. Tanked that like a champ. Goes for Rock Smash, takes him out into the Lilip. And this Lilip was very dangerous because it could actually absorb water attacks, so we had to be a little bit more strategic when we were fighting this guy. I remember this now. Goes for the Rock Smash, and that takes him out, thankfully. They had a pseudo legendary Larvitar, took her out instantly. Onyx, taking him out. Again, we were pretty over leveled for this gym, but it is what it is. Again, remembering that Lily didn't go for a water attack and takes him out. And lo and behold, that was it. We got the Boulder badge, and we also got Stone Edge. That was kind of cool. But that's the second gym down. Second gym down, guys. We are making progress. We're making such good progress. Moving on, we ended up flying around. We ended up finding a water type gym, as you can see right here out in the middle of the ocean. Makes sense for the water type gym. This was pretty cool. This gym had a lot of parkouring to do. I remember this was so cool, even though I was terrible at it, as you could see, but we tried our best. Made it to the first trainer, and she actually had a Fraligator. And I was noticing very quickly as you watch this fight that this gym, I was a bit far from spawn at this point, so this gym actually had some decently leveled trainers or Pokemon or whatever. So this was definitely going to be more of a challenge for me, I can already tell, just because of these levels. And I already noticed that they had a couple of counters as well. The Gastrodon was a huge counter. This was the time for Electivire to shine, let me tell you. But the thing is, a lot of the times they had. I remember this gym having a bunch of Sea Kings with Lightning Rod, as you could see, and that was giving me a bit of a trouble, and a couple of Gastrodons to be the hard counter. Anyway, makes it to the top, and we're here at the gym. At the gym leader. Goes into the Quagsire. Again, huge counter. This guy was a huge counter to my Electivire. He's that water and ground type Pokemon. That ground typing, again, Electivire's biggest weakness, that ground typing for the counter. Dynamax the Quagsire. This thing is massive. We're going to try and go into the Swampert here, and we're going to try and go for a couple of rock smashes. Again, trying to take advantage of that ground type, so we're going to, utilizing the only fighting type move Swampert knows, going for the rock smash, does a couple of chip damage. Again, this thing is Dynamax. This guy was a huge counter to my MVP for this gym. At least I thought it was going to be an MVP at first. Was not expecting the ground type Pokemon in this water gym at all. Goes for another rock smash, lowering that defense. They go for a mud bomb. Swampert tanks it like a champ. Once again, we're just gonna spam these rock smashes. I gotta get this Quagsire out of here. They avoid the attack. Uses recover. Okay, I already knew this was gonna be a long fight. There's no way I was gonna get this Quagsire out of here with these rock smashes. I kept persisting though. I kept persisting. But after the second mud bomb, and I believe they go for another recover, I'm pretty sure at this point I had to swap out Swampert and think of a different strategy for this fight. I swap out into Shogun, trying to see if this was going to be a decent counter, but they swap out there the Quagsire and go for the Crawdaunt. I wasn't too sure what the strategy was, but goes for a knockoff and outspeeds the Shogun and just instantly kills my Shogun. That was not cool at all. I was telling you this gym was going to be a lot more challenging than the last one. We go into the Staraptor. We got to think of something quick here. Goes for the Aerial Ace. We already know this. Staraptor outspeeds this Crab. Tries to go for the knockoff again. We tank that like a champ. Thankfully, another Aerial Ace. Never misses. Back to the Quagsire. Into an Aerial Ace. Does decent damage. And we're going to try for that close combat and just almost one shot. I'm sorry. I thought we were one shot that guy. Goes for a Citrus Berry into the recover, back into the green HP. And we're going to keep spamming this close combats. I know the stats was going down on Staraptor, but we just had to persist. We had to persist. Goes for the Water Pulse. We're going to go for it one more time and takes out the Quagsire. Thankfully, we have more speed EVs than this Quagsire. So that was huge. That was huge. Lots of EXP. That was a huge counter. Just taken down. Go into the Crawdaunt. Staraptor is still up there. Stats are still down. Goes for an Aqua Jet. Staraptor is in the red zone. And we're gonna be a little bit more strategic here. We're gonna swap out Staraptor at this point. We gotta get her out of here. Goes into the Electivire. They're gonna go for an Aqua Jet. They tried to kill Staraptor, didn't work out. And they're gonna withdraw the Crawdaunt. It goes for a Seeking, expecting me to go for the Thunder attack, which they did. So the lightning rod activates. This was bad. Again, that Seeking was a huge counter. Once again, just like the ground types for my Electivire. Goes into the Screech, trying to decrease the defense. Tanks that attack like a champ. And we go for the quick attack, thus taking out 50%. Thankfully, we went for that Screech, and that was huge. Goes for the Waterfall. I knew quick attack went first, and hopefully it was gonna kill, and thankfully it did. It got 50%, the other 50% down. Goes into the Duat right here. I had to think of something a bit more strategic, so we're gonna go for that heal. I don't want to risk sacking Electivire. There's no reason to. They go for the Aqua Jet. They thought they could kill Electivire there. It was a critical hit. We tanked that like a champ. Goes for another one. Obviously, this Duat is way faster than Electivire, so we just gotta make sure we get those punches in, and we did. Takes out Duat in one shot. And we also learned low kick, so there we go. We got another fighting type move added to our arsenal. Back again into this Crawdaunt. We got to get rid of this thing real quick. Go for the Screech. We're going to lower that defenses. We're going to play a little bit strategic here. And he actually almost kills Electivire. Electivire lives on a sliver of HP. I could not believe it. We went for a low kick just to try it out for a bit. It was a physical attack, and with that Screech, it was able to take out Crawdaunt beautifully. I love it. They knew they had a couple War Torals here. And again, we're still living on that sliver of health, so we're going to be a little bit more strategic here. We're going to play it safe, get that Hyper Potion up. Goes for a rapid spin, tank that like a champ. Didn't do much damage at all. And instead of going for the Screech, we're just going to go for the Thunder Punch. And that one-shots that War Toro. They had another one. They had two War Toros, so go into the second one, and same thing, spamming that Thunder Punch to give us the victory. And there it is, guys. We got the Rain Badge. And Whirlpool. So there we go, guys. 3 badges down, 5 more to go. We made it to the second gym. This one actually wasn't too far from the water gym. And I think this was another... this was like a grass and bug type gym. I'm gonna be honest, this one didn't last very long. I guess this ended up being another underleveled type of gym, so not too much action going on here, I'll be honest. We kind of breezed past this gym relatively quickly, actually. Very nice though. I like the plants and whatnot, but as you could see, made it to the gym leader, and this guy just, it was pretty lackluster. So Yeah, I don't even think they even had a chance to Dynamax if I remember correctly. But yeah, this gym did not last very long. Just another underleveled gym. But regardless, it is what it is. They had an Ivysaur, one shots that goes into the Joltik, trying to counter anything else I had, but the level advantage at this point was just way too high. Growlithe, she was way too high for this gym. But regardless, we ended up getting the forest badge. So there it is. There's another fourth badge. Sorry about that. I know, again, lackluster, but a couple of these gyms, I don't know what the levels are with these gyms. So yeah, a few of them I'll admit was a couple hit or miss. But again, RNG, I'm not gonna grunt about the terrain design. We made it to another gym here in the desert biome. This actually ended up being a ground type gym, and once again it was yeah, it was another low level gym. So we're just going around taking out these trainers. I'm gonna be honest, it's not the end of the world, because the thing is, this is actually pretty good EXP. So if we ever make it to another higher level gym, we're gonna be prepared anyway. And regardless, we need this EXP anyway, because yeah, I would like to try and fight like legendaries, and the goal is to to capture at least one legendary. So we do need to be high level for that anyway. But anyway, yeah, made it to this ground type. Wasn't too bad. Very under leveled. The gym leader goes into a Golett. Dynamaxes that, we take it out. Goes into the Swinub, trying to counter with that ice type. I don't know what they were planning to do with that. Shelgon, again, just one-shotting everything because of the type advantage, and obviously because of the level advantage as well. So yeah, goes through a Wooper. That was supposed to be a counter Pokemon, but regardless, we actually ended up getting the gold Quake badge, so that was kind of cool. Probably because we had no issues with it, but regardless, that is the 5th gym, as you could see. So back on Staraptor, and we're gonna be flying around. We ended up finding another gym type. Yeah, I'll be honest, I did cut down a lot of the flying footage. As you can see, I know it looks like we're just going from gym to gym, but let me tell you, it took days to find these gyms. It really did take days. So, but anyway, regardless, the goal is to find 8 gyms. Here we are in the next gym. So, found a fire type gym, and this gym was actually decently high. So yeah, there was a lot of tough battles in this one right here. Swampert obviously had a lot of training time, and yeah, I got sick of these puzzles, as you could see. Got real sick of these puzzles real quick, so I just okay, maybe I cheated a little bit. I just turned it into obsidian so I wouldn't die. But regardless, we're here at the gym leader, and he actually Dynamaxed an Emboar and actually knew Overgrowth, which one-shotted my Swampert. I could not believe that. Swampert was the MVP of this gym, and his Emboar literally countered it with an Overgrowth. Oh my goodness. I mean, Swampert's biggest weakness, grass type, and that fire type knew it. I could not believe it. Regardless, he was a fighting type, so Staraptor came in with the clutch with the flying type moves and took it out instantly. So that was some good cold revenge right there. They go into the Sunny Day cast form, as you can see right here. Still sticking with that Staraptor. We're gonna go for that Aerial Ace. Does decent amount of damage. They're gonna try and take out my Staraptor. They did it successfully. We're going back out on a Swampert once again. Tried to go for the kill. Gets the Solar Beam. We live through that and takes out that cast form and goes into the Ninetales. Goes for an energy ball, and that pretty much just takes out my Swampert. A lot of these fire types knew grass type moves. They knew I was going to come in with that Swampert. I could not believe it. So they were prepared. They were definitely prepared. And we're going to use the stalling, reviving, and hyper potion strategy. Goes for that heal. We got Electivire here just tanking hits like a champ. Takes out the Electivire. We go into the Shelgon. Tries to go for the Heat Wave. Wasn't very effective, and we Dragon Claw this Ninetales, getting her into the red zone right here. We just go for a Protect here. They use go for a Hypnosis, falls asleep. We wake up and go for a Dragon Claw, gets a critical hit, sending out their next Pokemon. We're just going to be spamming these Dragon Claws. Shelgon is getting a lot of EXP here. This is great. This is honestly great. Swaps out back into his second Ninetales. Couldn't believe they had 2 of them. Goes for a Dragon Claw into the Sunny Day. Sunlight is bright. These fire type moves are hitting real hard, but we're going to be using these Dragon Claws to our advantage. Takes out the Ninetales, big EXP, and sends out their camera up. This camera up was very, very tanky. We're still using Shelgon because why not? But we ended up swapping into Swampert anyway. I forget why. Camera up goes for an Eruption. That was huge. Wasn't very effective though because of the water typing. They saw the kill, so they were going for their big move. We go for a Water Pulse. They literally tanked that Water Pulse. Actually still does pretty good damage. Didn't think he was going to live from that, but goes into the healing move there. Once we're gonna try going for that muddy water, takes out the camera, and once again go for another muddy water and takes out the Larvesta, thus giving us our next badge. As you can see, very nice. And we also got mystical fire from that. So we got the fire badge, the volcano badge or whatever, and we got mystical fire. So there we go, guys. 6 badges down, 2 more to go. Head back home from our very big adventure, heal up the team, and we end up in another raid. As you can see, a Zangoose raid. I thought we were gonna be good at this, but unfortunately we weren't, and we ended up dying to that. So that was that. I also saw this really cool Survivor raid. Tried to attempt that as well. I'm not even gonna bore you with that. That didn't go well. 1 turn and we all died, so that sucked. Anyway, so I went and found this Tepig raid. Had to capture it. He was only, even though it's a 1-star, I had to get this. I had to get this started. You know me. Do a couple more raids. Did the core fish raid right here. Basically, I'm doing all this just so I can do some more training and getting all the items from the raid. Another reason is because they actually drop a lot of like awesome good items like TRs and TMs and all that stuff, like, and rare candies, as you could see. And with enough rare candies from the raids, we were actually, as you can see, able to get Shogun to evolve to Salamence. Again, thanks to those raids, dropping the TMs, the TRs, and especially the rare candies, we got our team up. Basically just a lot of training. We were training for days at this point, preparing for the next gym, just in the off chance that it was going to be really high leveled. We back into the ice biome, and way in the back of the ice biome there was actually an ice gym, and so here we are in our next gym. I also got this really cool time lapse. I went AFK for a bit, so did a little bit of time lapsing. As you could see, I really like how the sun, I don't know. I just think this is really beautiful. You could skip this part, but I think it's so beautiful how the sun goes down and then the lights turn on like that. The lanterns. That's so cool. Anyway, so we get into the first trainer over here. They had a couple of pillow swines, and they took out my Growlithe in 1 shot, so that sucked. Now Growlithe, since this was going to be an ice-type gym, I really believed in Growlithe was going to be the MVP of this gym, so that's why I started with her. We go into the Swampert, trying to go for that Water Pulse, takes them out. They go for the Ice Form, Cast Form right here. Almost taking out my Swampert right here, getting hurt by the Hail. We're going to be a little bit smart here. We're going to go for a, what was this here? Go for a Hyper Potion on Swampert, trying not to sack Swampert. Still going for the Hail, and hits me with a Blizzard. Hit Swampert once again with that Blizzard, just spamming those Blizzards, and look at that, within 2 turns we were finally in the red zone. But we finally persevered and took him out. After that, moved on to the next gym, our next trainer, took out the Cloyster. This went on, after that their first trainer, honestly, there was not much of a threat. The rest of the trainers, they had Jinxes, Cloysters, but we were pretty much just one-shotting the rest of them. This Abomasnow was actually pretty big, but Growlithe, after reviving Growlithe, was able to take him out. Anyway, on to the main event. Head into the gym leader, and she's going to go for that Dynamax Glalie, very huge. Again, leading with that Growlithe. Growlithe's supposed to be the MVP here. We're going to try and go for those Fire Fangs. They're going to go for a Max Guard. Fails because they tried to go for a Protect 2 turns. That doesn't work. You can't Protect twice in a row. Goes for a Fire Fang. Does decent damage. Again, this is a Dynamax Glalie. So, yeah, for what it's worth, that was pretty good damage. We're going to keep spamming those Fire Fangs. We're going to go for a Max Guard right here. It gets the Protect off, but just waste the Dynamax turns. Didn't really do much there. Too scared, I guess, and just went for Protects the entire time. The Fire Fang does massive damage right there, almost one-shotting that Glalie. Once again, gonna go for those Fire Fangs, and takes out the Glalie. Very effective. They swap into the Lapras, and we go into the Electivire. I already know the counter for this Lapras. They go for the Surf. We tanked that pretty good. Actually, it did pretty decent damage right there. But regardless, we're going to set up the light screen. They swap out into the Mammal Swine. This Mammal Swine was a huge threat to my team, but we set up the light screen, so that helped out reduce any special attacks that they did on us. I tried to go for the Thunder Punch, but that didn't work out, and they one-shot on my Electivire, and that was not cool at all. We go into the Growlithe, and like I said, trying to go for those Fire Fangs wasn't doing well. This Mammal Swine was very strong and was just taking out my team with those Earthquakes. Those Earthquakes were massive. Huge counter. I honestly thought I was gonna lose this. They swap into the Cryogonal. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. We try to go for a Muddy Water because I don't know what else to use. The light screen wore off. And like I said, Electivire wasn't even alive right now, so I don't even know what I could do. This Cryogonal had new Recover, and at this point I just had to go for revive turns. Basically, taking my Pokemon out, sacking them just so I can revive Electivire and Growlithe. It was the only way I knew what to do, because it was the only thing I could do, because if not, I really didn't have much of a counter for any of their Pokemon. Anyway, we get Growlithe back out on there. They go for the Lapras, and again we're gonna be healing up Electivire with these Hyper Potions here. goes for a surf, and obviously that's going to hurt Growlithe very much. Huge counter to Growlithe, but we go back into the Electivire, and they're going to swap at that Lapras and bring out that Mamoswine once again. Thunder Punch did not work, and I remember Low Kick worked on heavy Pokemon, thus one-shotting that Mamoswine. I don't know why I didn't do that earlier. That Low Kick was a huge advantage that in when sealing our victory. Goes to the Cryogonal. We take that out relatively easily. Honestly, the rest of the battle was not much of a threat at this point. That Mamoswine with the Earthquake was once I got rid of that Mamoswine, it was pretty much GG at this point. That Low Kick came in the clutch. Thank goodness for Mamoswine weighing a ton. Goes into the Delibird, but we're going to swap him to Salamence just to pretty much finish him off. Get some more EXP in for Salamence. Why not? And we're going to go for that Dragon Claw right here. Taking out the Delibird, switching back into the Lapras once again, and we're going to swap out into Electivire right here. They tried to take out Electivire. We tank that. Go for a Thunder Punch. I knew this was going to be big damage, and once again takes out the Lapras. Goes into their second Glalie right here, and once again going for a Thunder Punch. And they thought they can actually beat me. They thought they could beat me. That Glalie knew Explosion. That was their final trump card, and they used it against my Electivire. But thankfully, I still had Pokemon that were still alive, so I won the battle anyway. That actually kind of scared me with that Explosion. Was not expecting that. And we got the Gold Freeze badge, so that was huge. Also Blizzard. So yeah, there we go. The journey is almost complete, guys. 7 badges. This has been a long journey in the making. I cannot believe the progress we're making. I'm so happy, so proud. At this point, I made it to the swamp biome, was doing more training, and I found a legendary Swampert boss. And if you remember, one of our goals for this 100 days was to Mega Evolve our starter. So yeah, I attempted this Swampert, and I knew I wasn't going to actually win, which, yeah, I don't know why I attempted this, but at first, well, here we go. Here's the thing. At first, I thought I wasn't going to be able to attempt this fight, but I quickly remember that Swampert actually had Rocky Helmet on, and if you don't know, Rocky Helmet actually does a percentage of damage if the foe hits the user with the Rocky Helmet with a physical attack. So Swampert being a physical attacker, he pretty much kept spamming my Swampert with Hammer Arms, thus activating the Rocky Helmet proc. So as you can see, I'm gonna let this battle play out, honestly, but as you can see, I was pretty much reviving Swampert and putting Swampert out there and hoping that this legendary Swampert would hit me with a bunch of Hammer Arms just to proc the Rocky Helmet. I was actually really happy that the strategy worked because, well, yeah, long story short, this strategy actually worked, but regardless, honestly, I'm never going to underestimate the power of Rocky Helmet. This Rocky Helmet strategy was, oh my god, this was the reason why I was able to defeat this level 96 Swampert. I could not believe it. I mean, instantly off of the first turn, when I saw that the Rocky Helmet procced when he killed my Swampert in the beginning, I just instantly had that idea. I had to go with it. I had to go with my instinct on this one. So yeah, just letting this battle play out, and as you can see, we also was able to get a couple Intimidates off, so that was pretty big too. So a lot of Swampert's physical attacks, the legendary Swampert's physical attacks, wasn't hitting pretty hard towards the end because of those Intimidates. But the main bread and butter of the strategy, again, was hoping that they would use Hammer Arm, which they mostly did, thus giving that Rocky Helmet proc and just lowering their HP to the point where we can pretty much just finish them off ourselves. So as you can see, level 96 Swampert in the red zone. I barely even touched this guy, and we were on the brink to victory. Well, again, I think I already told you that I won, but regardless, this strategy was awesome. Super happy about the results. Thank you, Rocky Helmet. And as you can see, we defeated that Swampert boss. We got the Swampert right. I was so happy. So happy. Like I said, got a couple of candies, rare candies. We also got a Mystic Water for our water types. That was big. And yeah, finally got our Mega Evolution band as well. Had to get the shades because you already know, got to get my shades on. Well, they were kind of scuffed, but we got it anyway. And as you can see, got the Swampert right on Swampert. The team was looking pretty good. I was actually very happy about the results. Team was looking really good. I'm super happy. Did some more training. We had a couple. I think we had maybe about 10 days left in the series or in this challenge. So I went ahead and just started looking through my PC, and I found a Snorlax that I actually captured in one of the raids I did previously while I was training for, you know, 20 plus days. And I remembered, and the reason why I went for this Snorlax, I'm sorry, did I say Swampert? I meant to say Snorlax, but I went for that Snorlax just to finish up the team because, as you saw, Snorlax actually knew Yawn. And that was gonna be a big strategy to what I was thinking about later. So still going out, training, doing some more raids. As you saw earlier, I found another Celebi shrine as well, but nothing too crazy over here. Basically just exploring and just training. I had to train Snorlax up just a bit just because he was lacking in levels. So I went around, fought trainers, did some more raid dens, like I said, and some more wild Pokemon. I also found a couple of Thunderstones too, so that was cool. But again, going back to the raids, just because they give good EXP candy, and after all that, I was able to collect all these TMs and TRs. So with that was actually big because I was able to revamp the team's moveset. So as you can see, the team got a whole bunch of new movesets. This could not have worked out any better, honestly. So yeah, was able to train the team up fairly bit, I think in the level 60s at this point, and just giving them a whole set of new moves for the most part. And finally, as you can see, the last Pokemon that I've been meaning to evolve, I just kept forgetting, was Growlithe into Arcanine. As you can see, this is a big dog. That's a big dog. That's a big dog. Look at her. Look at you, girl. You said that is a huge dog. Look at that. That's a big dog. She looks like one of those Alaskan Malamutes. God, she is big. That's a big dog. But regardless, I think at this point the team was pretty much ready to go to finish out this challenge. So yeah, super happy. And the final gym that we ended up finding ended up being this flying type gym, way miles apart, miles away from home. We ended up, like I said, finding this flying type gym. So this was gonna be the last gym to finally finish up our goal of getting 8 gym badges. So yeah, there we go. Anyway, made our way through. And a couple of these trainers actually had a couple not interesting counters. They had a bunch of Drift Blims and a bunch of Murkrows or whatever. Well, regardless, they had Ghost types is what I was saying, and I was not expecting that. So yeah, Snorlax being quite the MVP here. This is a very tanky Snorlax. I think my Snorlax has a lot of defense and special defense EVs. So yeah, did that for a while, and we finally made it to the gym leader. Finally made it up there after all that training. Again, Snorlax getting a lot of EXP. I did need to train Snorlax for a while there. But anyway, we get to the gym leader and goes out into the Drift Blim as we go into the Swamperts. I had a strategy for this. Goes into the Dynamax Sigilyph, and I knew I had to take out the Sigilyph very quickly. So I went onto the Swampert first to set up the Rain Dance, because if you don't know, my Electivire knows Thunder, and Thunder in the rain is a 100% accurate move. It will hit every time if Rain dances up. So we had to do that, getting that Rain Dance up, using those Thunders. We had to get the Sigilyph out as quickly as possible. Basically, whatever her Dynamax Pokemon was going to be in this fight. We take out the Sigilyph right there. They go into the Drift Blim, take it out with a Wild Charge. As you can see, Electivire does faint though. They're going to go into a Pelipper, and we're going to take out our Snorlax right here. We're going to go for a little bit of a CC. But they're going to go for a CC and trying to hit me with a Toxic, which they did. But we ended up hitting with a Seed Bomb right there. Hits me with a Hydro Pump. We got high special defense, so we tanked that. Again, Snorlax, MVP tank. Super good at tanking stuff. Could not be more happy with my Snorlax, honestly. Super glad that I added him to the team. Swaps out into the Gyarados right here. We're still getting hurt by that poison, as you can see. We're going to go for a Seed Bomb on this Gyarados. This Gyarados was actually kind of scary. They sprang up into a bounce. They avoid our attack, swap into the Salamence, trying to get some damage in on this Gyarados, and we go for a Dragon Claw that almost one-shots Gyarados. They go for a bounce, they sprang up, and we're just trying to increase our speed here. Hits me with the bounce, we tank that, go for a Dragon Claw, takes out the Gyarados. They swap back into the Pelipper. We go for another Dragon Claw. Salamence, again, that pseudo-legendary power, coming in with the clutch, spamming these Dragon Claws, just taking out these Pokemon. They go for the Golbat, takes out the Golbat, thus giving us the victory. Salamence and Snorlax, huge MVP on giving us the Zephyr badge right there. This was a level 60 gym, by the way. And thus, well, the sunrise, the sun rises on our victory, as you can see. Very aesthetic. I like sunrises. They look so cool. But as you can see, there we go, guys. Finally completed our goal of getting 8 gym badges. And so after that, I went back home and I ended up finding this legendary Garchomp boss. So I put the Rocky Helmet, I think, on Arcanine, and I started doing the Rocky Helmet strategy on this Garchomp. But I did this boss because I actually wanted to try it and give Swampert some more, you know, some more training time. I actually did not use the Mega Evolve on the final gym, so I just basically I was just trying to give Swampert some more Mega Evolve time, I guess. But anyways, yeah, because of the Rocky Helmet strategy, we were also able to get that Garchomp right. So yeah, awesome. Anyway, there was a couple days left. I think about 3 or 4 more days left in the challenge. So I wanted to finish up and reach our final goal, or achieving our final goal by capturing one of our at least one legendary. To finish out the series. Going back to my roots, my very first Pokemon game was Ruby, Pokemon Ruby. So I wanted to capture the first ever legendary that I ever captured when I was a kid, and that was Groudon. And so waited for him for a couple days, and right as I was about to give up, because it was actually day 100, he actually spawned in on the final day. I didn't mention that. I got there on day, I think, 96 or 97, and I sat there in that purple chair and just waited for 3 days. And as I was about to give up, I finally found Groudon. So as you can see, I'm super excited about that because I really thought we were going to achieve this goal. So yeah, on the final day, Groudon actually spawned in, and we were able to get into battle with this guy. So hopefully we capture him. Well, I'm gonna be honest. We got into the Groudon fight, and as you could see, something went terribly wrong with the camera, which that kind of sucks. So just it looks so ridiculous. I'm rewatching it right now. But regardless, save you the epilepsy. I did capture Groudon on turn 34, I believe. So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm super sorry. I know that was super lackluster, but it is what it is. That we did capture him on the final day as day 101 was beginning to rise. And there he is. There he is. We got Groudon. Finally, we've pretty much completed our goals. We caught our legendary. We got our 8 gym badges. I could not be more happy with this series. Oh yeah, and also I also caught a Zacian as well because he was well, he was wandering around my village. He actually spawned in my village. So yeah, had to capture the Zacian. Had to capture that big blue dog. I wonder if that was the one from the beginning of the series. I don't know. But there it is. Yeah, also caught a Zacian as well. That was super unexpected, but again, they spawned in my village near the Celebi Shrine from the beginning, so yeah. But anyways, if you're wondering what I did for those legendary fights, just real quick, I pretty much did the strategy of using Snorlax to put them to sleep. Basically that was my strategy for Snorlax. If you're wondering, I would use Snorlax to tank any hits that they would have, any hits that Groudon and Zacian had, and I put them to sleep with Yawn, and then I pretty much got them to red HP with again with Snorlax. Snorlax knew a couple physical attacks, so yeah, that's basically what I did. Got him to the red zone, put him to sleep with Yawn. If they ever woke up, Snorlax would just tank them with the high special defense and HP. That's when I pretty much spammed a bunch of Ultra Balls. So yeah, that was my strategy for capturing those legendaries, if you care. But regardless, that's yeah, there we go. There it is. And that concludes this 100 days challenge. There was so much more I wanted to do, like explore other dimensions, train the team up to level 100. But this was as far as I could get. Who knows, maybe we can come back for 200 days and do some of that end game stuff then. But until that happens, I guess that's going to be it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please take care, and I'll see you in the next one.